the way, it's cold and flu season. It's awful right now. Everybody gets sick. I get sick every February. Not sure why. I usually get through the holidays. Please use Vicks Sinex nasal spray. 12 hours. Congestion strikes. Use as directed. Vicks Sinex nasal spray. So, listen. Everybody knows, the Patriots are great, right? Now, some of you don't want to hear it, but the Patriots are 8-3. They're 3 games up in the AFC East, on their way to another playoff appearance. In fact, they're about to set an NFL all-time record. But before I reveal the record, I want to start with this disclaimer. Here we go.
We here at The Herd understand that many people in our audience don't want to hear about how great the Patriots are. Therefore, we'd like to apologize for this next segment.
Okay. The Patriots are about to break the record for most consecutive playoff appearances. Patriots, Colts, Cowboys, different eras, have made 9 straight playoff appearances. For the record, the Patriots streak would have been much longer, but at 2008, Brady got hurt, didn't make the playoffs. They were 11-5. This could easily be like 18 years. So they're going to break that this year. Now, there's another amazing all-time stat. But first,
again, we understand that many of you are sick and tired about hearing how much better the Patriots are than everyone else. Please bear with us as this segment continues.
The Patriots have now won a playoff game in 7 straight years. Now, this is really remarkable. Even by Don Shula standards, Tom Landry standards, Bill Walsh standards, the most consecutive seasons with a playoff win, the active streak in the NFL. Patriots have 7, the Falcons have 2, and that's about to end. And there's 5 teams at 1. So the 5 other teams, Titans, Jags, Eagles, Vikings, Saints. So a lot of those are going to end. Now, there's one more amazing stat.
Just to make this perfectly clear, we totally get that you really don't need any more mind-blowing stats about how the Patriots are, clearly the greatest NFL dynasty by a mile. But seriously, you've got to hear this next one.
The Patriots are 8-3. If they win just 2 more games, and if you've seen their schedule, they're going to win 2 more games, they will have 16 consecutive seasons with 10 wins or more. Now, again, I'm talking Chuck Noll, Steelers, Don Shula's Dolphins, Tom Landry's Cowboys, Bill Walsh 49ers. That will tie the 49ers for the longest streak ever. Here are the most consecutive 10-win seasons all time. San Francisco, 16, Patriots, 15, Colts, 9, Cowboys, 7. Again, in 2008, the Patriots won 11 games with Matt Castle. That's amazing. Here's the remaining schedule for any of you watching. Vikings at home, at Miami, at Pittsburgh, Bills, Jets at home. I think they go 4-1. Vikings at home this weekend's a 5-point spread. I think it's close, though. You guys think it's close? I kind of think it's close. The big game tomorrow, of course, the Dallas Cowboys on this network, Fox Sports, will host the New Orleans Saints. One of the things, Jerry Jones took a risk, and they gave up a first-round pick to get wide receiver Amari Cooper. I like the move. A, they needed a receiver. B, college football has about 2 really great draftable wide receivers. And C, my theory on life is if you need something and you're going to use it a lot, don't worry about the price tag. If you look at what the Cowboys have done pre-Amari Cooper and post-Amari Cooper, the numbers are palpable. 3-4 without him, 3-1 with him, and their third down percentage, this is key, it moves the chains, 32% to 48%. They extend drives. They keep their defense off the field. They convert among the leading teams in the NFL with Amari Cooper. Jerry Jones talked why he made the deal and why he likes Amari Cooper.
Cooper does that. He is as good a route runner as has ever put on a Dallas Cowboys uniform. And he's running himself. He's route running himself open.
That's a real thing with Dak Prescott, who is not what they call an anticipation thrower. He is a throw to an open receiver, thrower, and Amari Cooper separates. Chris Carter was on First Things First this morning, also brought up a really interesting point with this move.
When I coached Amari in high school, before he went to University of Alabama, he was one of the most mature route runners that I had ever seen in high school. Him and Larry Fitzgerald, right up there. The one thing Jerry did good before he acquired Amari, he went back to Alabama. He talked to Nick Saban. And Nick Saban wrote him a prescription of how to attack Amari Cooper, how to bring him into the fold, and how to get the best of him.
Jerry Jones was talking this offseason about risks. And he said, when I look back on my life, I overpaid for my big successes every time. And when I tried to get a bargain, I end up usually either getting it and I'm not happy I got it or missing it. And I think when I look back at the Amari Cooper move, I heard a lot of people say it's kind of expensive. And I said this earlier. There are things like I like to grill. I like a nice home theater. I'll overpay for, according to the market. But I never feel 5 years later I overpaid for them because I get a lot of use out of them. I'm not a big car driver. I don't drive my car a lot. I use Uber. I don't have a long commute, so I'm not into cars. I always feel like whatever I pay for a car, I'm getting ripped off. I never feel like I get a deal on a car because I don't drive it that much. Whereas a grill, a kitchen, which I like, a homebody, a theater, doesn't matter what I pay. I always feel like I get my money's worth. And I think Jerry Jones felt with Amari Cooper, we need a receiver. We're going to use the heck out of the receiver. What do I care if I pay him $13 million a year or $9 million a year? What's it matter? I need him. We'll use him.
I think people overvalue draft picks also.
See, so do I.
They get so caught up in hoarding all these draft picks and, oh, it's a first-round draft pick. How can you replace that? You have no idea what that first-round draft pick is going to become, and you know what Amari Cooper is, and he's young.
Think about this. When you look at a draft, a first-round player lasts about 9 years. That's the average. But as you go to the second, third, fourth, fifth round, players stay in the league 6 years, 5, 4, 3. By the end of it, the average NFL career, if you took quarterbacks out, who last like 10 years if they're starters, the average NFL career is like 3.5, 4 years. So the bottom line, if you can get, it's not just that I draft guys, I don't know how good they are. There are guys that physically get into this league and they just have the bodies and you're like, oh, I'm going to get that guy. He's not had an injury since college. So I just like guys in the league that have proven they can play. And I understand that you need some, what they call cheap labor. You know, if you have a bunch of unsigned free agents, they're inexpensive. I get that. You have to have.
You do have to have depth.
You have to have depth, and you have to have about 8, 9 guys, real bargain shopping. Bottom end of your roster. You can't pay everybody, but we talked about this to start the show today. If you go look at the teams that lead all the divisions, all 8, either you're on a rookie quarterback deal, you can sprinkle around the money, or you have a veteran quarterback taking a bargain deal so you can sprinkle around the money. That's kind of what wins in the NFL. That's what's leading divisions right now. So, I don't know. I like people in the league that I know what they can do and I know what they can't. And I'm gonna sparingly spend huge money. I don't think Amari Cooper at $12 million a year is huge money. That's probably, honestly, I'm going to guess this. That's 3% of their cap. Well, in 2018, your number one star receiver is worth 3% of your cap. If your quarterback's worth 11, and a star receiver and a left tackle are worth 3 and 4, and a pass rusher is worth 4 to 5%, and then maybe one interior lineman and a corner, if you can get all those guys combined for about 25% of your cap, those are your 7 stars. There you go. And then there's 75% of your cap fill. There's about 7 positions in football that matter a lot, like today. Like, okay, if you had 7 positions you had to have in football, Joy, I've asked this question before. Quarterback's 1.
Right. Receiver,
left tackle, I would say.
Pass rusher, corner.
Corner. And then we can argue, I would say a great Aaron Donald, an interior lineman. And then you start, I'm not sure you don't go back to receiver. Now, I never thought that before, but increasingly I'm like, of your top 7 or 8 football players.
No, you probably used to argue running back.
Yeah.
But unless you have a elite level top 3 in the league, you're not going to pay them like
We got
that.
a lot of teams in the NFL getting to the Super Bowl
with running back by committee.
A lot of them. Philadelphia, New England. So tomorrow, Greg Cosell, one of my favorite guys, TJ Hushmanzada, will be joining us on the show. So good stuff today. Nick Wright, Kenyon Martin, Joel Klatt, and always entertaining Mike Poutsey of the Chargers stop by. Folks, 66% of men lose their hair by the age of 35 years old. You don't want to be that. Now, Whitlock doesn't have hair, but he's very proud. And he's very handsome, so he looks very good without hair on his head. Now, I need a lot of hair. This is salon perfect. People groom this thing for an hour a day. Okay, if you don't have it and you think you're losing it, get it under control. 4hims.com is a one-stop shop for hair loss, sexual wellness, and skincare for guys.